Hola, soy Begoña Donat desde el set de Kinótico en la 69 edición de la Semana Internacional de Cine de Valladolid, la Seminci. Hoy nos acompaña Emanuel Pârvu, que es el director rumano de una de las películas en sección oficial. Vamos a tener la suerte de poder verla en las pantallas porque la distribuye Vértigo en nuestro país. La película se titula 3 kilómetros al fin del mundo. Estuvo en el Festival de Cannes y se alzó con la Queer Palm. Ha sido seleccionada por su país, por Rumanía, como la candidata a los Oscar y además también ganó en el Festival de Sarajevo. Emanuel Pârvu, que nos acompaña, es su segundo largometraje. Es una película que arranca con una agresión homófoba que da lugar a un descubrimiento por parte de su protagonista de su identidad homosexual. Y eso choca con los valores conservadores de la comunidad en la que vive, una pequeña región en Rumanía que se rebela contra esta rareza dentro del ámbito tranquilo que muy bien ha filmado Emanuel Pârvu con unos planos de los que ahora hablaremos totalmente idílicos que contrastan con la violencia que se genera en la película. Welcome, Emanuel. Is it a pleasure to meet you?
Thank
I
you so
had
much.
the pleasure of seeing your film in Cannes. I was really shocked, and from the very moment I saw the film, I wanted to interview you so badly that now I'm so happy to finally meet you.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about the origin of the script because I read that it was based on a real event in
In a small
a
community.
yeah, in a small community in
Yeah.
Romania,
Yeah.
but it was a girl who was raped by
Yeah.
I don't like
7 men.
seven men,
Yeah.
7 different men,
Yeah.
but the community raised against her.
Turned against the victim.
So I wanted to know how did this real event, who was at the very beginning sex aggression
Yeah.
against a girl,
Yeah.
turn into a homophobic
Yeah.
film.
Yeah. Actually, it's my third feature film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Um, what I wanted to say was, so based on that case, what we quite didn't understand is how can a society uh, have a look upon minorities. And I was thinking that, well, I was thinking about that yesterday actually when I came to Spain. If if I come to Spain, I'm regarded as a minority. I'm a Romanian being in Spain, so I'm basically a minority. I'm a part of a minority. And if we are about to get into a fight right now, me and you, and we start saying bad words and bad things to each other, and the temperature rises and rises and rises and rises, I think at the end there is a very big possibility for you when you want to insult me, not to say you stupid guy. I think most of the people are gonna say you stupid Romanian guy.
I see.
And that's the thing that I wanted to say. I wanted to say a story about how societies are regarding minorities. I think it's not the minority that we need to change. It's our society, our aggressor society that we need to change. Doesn't matter the skin color, doesn't matter the religion, doesn't matter the race, doesn't matter the sexual orientation. It's something that we need to change in our society, in the aggressor, in the majority, that we need to change upon regarding minorities. So that's the story that we need to say. And we needed something that you cannot spot by the distance. Because if we're talking about a different skin color, that's something then you can actually see from a distance, and it's something that your brain will attack. If you're racist, your brain will attack it by the distance. Only from the aesthetical point of view, you're going to see a different skin color and you're going to attack it. But if we were about to talk about something that you cannot spot from distance, a different religion, a different sexual orientation, that's something that you cannot spot from the distance. And usually people are treating somebody nice, and if I find about you that you have a different sexual orientation, then my attitude towards you is going to be 180 degrees. It's going to be, I'm going to turn against you. So we needed something that it's something from inside the minority, that's it's coming from inside a person, not outside a person.
I was very interested in the location.
Yeah.
I wanted to know if you have any personal connection to the Danube region.
It's a place where I've been since 1986, actually, and it's the place where my producer and co-writer Miruna Berescu is holding Anonymou Film Festival, which she's a director of Anonymou Film Festival, which is a 2021 edition this year, and we basically know the place very, very well, and it's one of the world's greatest explorers, Jacques-Yves Cousteau, went into that place in the 70s, and he said that it's one of the most beautiful places in Europe. Then he got banned by the communist regime, and then he returned in 91 after the revolution, and he shot a documentary about Danube in that place. So yeah, it's one of the most beautiful places in Europe, and it's the only place in Romania that I know that there's two societies so different that they must live together during summertime, because during summertime, because of the festival, it's the most coolest, hipsterish, the place you want to be in the Black Sea shore. You just want to be there. It's the future society that's there, and they're meeting, and they have to live with the locals that are very traditional, very conservative, and those two societies that are so opposite, they have to live together for 3 months, and it's very very interesting to watch this.
In fact, the main character explores his own identity
Exactly,
through meeting someone from abroad.
exactly, exactly. Because that's the main part in that place. It's not reachable by car. It's only reachable by boat. So the locals are actually meeting the tourists. They have to live together.
We can see how idyllic is
Yeah,
this region,
yeah.
and I wanted to know if it was on purpose. I mean, if you wanted
Abs
to have
Absolutely,
this
it's
contrast between the violence and
that's
this
that
beauty.
that place in is regarded as an absolute paradise by everybody who's been there. That place is a paradise. So it's the place you go there, you just have a bottle of wine, you take a boat, you go onto the sea, you go onto the Danube. It's you go onto the beach. It's an absolute paradise. So, but still, what we wanted to see is that even in a paradise, people can live an actual hell. So I wanted to have the most beautiful open air prison. We wanted to have an open air prison in the most paradisiac place that we can have.
What's the meaning, if there's some symbolism uh, behind the use of green and blue? Because
The
these are
the
the main,
These are the main colors
yeah.
of the spot. The green, the blue, and the white are the traditional colors of the community, of the whole region of that country, which is called Dobruja. Are the main traditional colors: the green, the blue, and the white.
And you've used them throughout
Absolutely,
the film.
absolutely. I think the green and the blue. In my meanings, it must relate to peace, to tranquility, to paradise, to everything good. But in order to be, that's why we use so many wide shots, in order to be in contrast with the narrowness of the minds that people are still having in that place.
The story on its core speaks to us parents about how we can misunderstand love. What have you learned through this, let's say, journey
That
about parenthood?
um, love, by its pure definition, in my opinion, uh, in definition of love, is supposed to be unconditional. That's by the definition itself. If it becomes conditional, is it how can we call it how can we call it love? And my advantage was that I had this double perspective. I still have my mother, so my mother still lives, and so I'm still a child of my parent. and I have my daughter, so I'm a parent of my child. So having this double perspective, it's very interesting how can you can relate in both as a parent as and a child in the terms of regarding parenthood. If something goes beyond your power of understanding, how you going to react? Because usually we react on instinct, but we are not born with an instinct. It's only the conservation instinct that we're born with. Otherwise than that, let's say our driver instincts, we develop them. We're not born with them. What happened in your previous life before that event occurred that made you this type of aggressor, that made you this type of to have this type of aggression instinct? Why? If you don't understand something, why our defensiveness is becoming aggressive? What happened in your, what is your childhood trauma? What part of your relation with the society, with your parents, with your neighbors, with the system, what part of that made you become such an adult? It's some questions that I really have, because all of the 40s and 50 years olds from our country have been living both in the communism and in this type of new democracy that we had. And that's a thing that I need, in my opinion, we need to discuss in our films, and that's the Romanian new wave. What the Romanian new wave in cinema? That's what we're doing right now. Because the subject of, let's say, of corruption, if we go back 50 years, we didn't have this subject in our films, in Romanian films. It occurred only in the new Romanian wave, which started 25 years ago. Why? Because it exists. We need, in my opinion, an author should talk about his times, about what's happening around him, and should try to reflect his times in his films. Maybe if we talk about it, maybe if we bring the discussion up, maybe in 20 years the corruption subject and the homophobia will not exist. I think we can do a lot of good things with films and with books and with literature and with poetry and with painting, with art in general, that we can change a lot of things that are usually only in a different time. We need to talk about things like this.
What about religion? Because it looks like the church is very present in this community, and
In every small community, the religion is present, but I think it's a big difference between religion and faith. Religion actually puts you in some kind of a square, and faith is something different. And I don't want to take sides with any perspective. I just present the religion point of view, which is very different from the faith point of view. And if you want to reflect a society, in my opinion, I wanted to show from a small community how can you imagine a big society, like a whole our society, your society, in having bits and pieces of each single thing. You have the law, which is represented by the policeman. You have the religion, which is represented by the priest. You have the social differences, which is represented by the rich guy. You have everything in a small community, but in my opinion, it reflects the whole society.
you also have the loyal friendship.
That's a must. You got to have the that's, in my opinion, that's the true love. When you love somebody unconditionally, that's that's the expression of true love. And we must have in our life somebody who actually loves us from the whole heart, which openly loves us. I think our life is just very poor without love.
Coming back to the church, I don't know if you did some kind of research on therapy conversion, on this healing of homosexuality through a kind of exorcism. I don't know if it was
That's
based on real.
in our film. That's a pray. They don't do the exorcism. They do a prayer. That's a prayer for sick people, which in Orthodox religion is being used. In their opinion, exorcism is only allowed if you get the approval of the bishop. So there's no exorcism. It's a prayer that they do. But if we go back only 15 years ago, in 2007, Romania was entering the European Union. If you remember the Mungiu's film Beyond the Hills, that film was made after the real case in which the gay girl was tied in chains, like tied in chains on a cross. You can say that again in your mind. In the third millennium, somebody who's being part of the LGBT community is being tied in chains on a wooden cross. So please, we don't need any. I don't need any research on that. It's just a thing. I think it's a medieval thing that has nothing to do with faith or religion. It's just the narrowness of the minds. Nothing to do with faith.
You did a drama and a coming of age instead of a horror movie. Could have been a horror movie.
But still we use some humor in it. I think I laugh when I watch the film. I laugh each and every single time of some lines, especially the COVID line. That's a thing that I don't know how was it in Spain, but in our country it was a debate on national television that split the country 50-50, in which they were saying that if you get the COVID vaccine, Bill Gates will go and insert a 5G antenna in your body.
It was the same all over the world. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's pure laughter. In my case, I think I was looking at into the people's eyes and trying to see if they're joking or not. I say, are you going to vote for you're going to be voting for our country's future, and you really believe that? Like really believe? I try to enter your eyes to see if you're really believing that Bill Gates is going to put a 5G antenna in your body through a vaccine. So it's for me, it goes, as I was saying, beyond my power of understanding.
Happily, we have your films to reflect on that. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Nos despedimos desde el set de Kinótico en la Seminci. Las entrevistas continúan. Permaneced atentos. Ya sabéis, Kinótico, la primera con K, la segunda con C. Gracias.